We got something for you. We got something for you. You. It's something Megapod shiny. It's wrapped in Megapod plastic. Put on your Megapod jammy. It's time for Megapod-tastic. 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 Megapod-tastic.
Good morning. Welcome to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe with a surprise live stream. Wasn't expecting to go live tonight, but I did not do my live stream last night, and I figured, what the heck, I'll go live for a little bit. I do want to check something out here. I'm trying something new. I'm trying going live on Instagram too, and I want to see if it worked because I've never done this before. Did it work? Am I live on Instagram? How can I check? How do I know? Doesn't look like I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. If you're watching this on Instagram, if you can see me on Instagram, let me know because I'm trying something different. Hey, Strange Marvel Theories is here. Member for 23 months. But you see, and here's the thing. I'm simulcasting on the MME channel. So Strange Marvel Theories is actually a member of MME, not Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. But you know, Strange Marvel Theories memberships are open on Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. If you want to be a member here, you can do that. I don't have any members yet. I haven't really been pushing the membership. I should probably push that. It's not something I've ventured into yet, but it's there. It's open, and geez, I think it's been like almost a year or more since I last got even a super chat on the Crazy Joe's Concession Stand channel. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Daniel's here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Good to see you, Daniel. So yeah, welcome guys. Welcome to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I have a few things to talk about. One, and my review is up. If you look on the channel, you'll find my review. But I had to drive all the way to Voorhees, New Jersey to see Nightbitch. Nightbitch starring Amy Adams, which I understand Amy Adams got nominated for the Golden Globe for that movie. But it hasn't been playing anywhere around here, except there's one theater. One theater around here has it, and the showtimes are crapola, really bad showtimes. So it was kind of drive to Jersey or don't see it. And I chose to drive to Jersey. Some people suggested, well, maybe it's going to open wide later. But when I looked and we got to Thursday, the show times and the theaters it was in were diminishing. There were actually less theaters come Thursday than there were the days before. So it seemed like Tuesday and Wednesday were the sweet spots. If I was going to see it, I had to go see it on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's it. So I took the trip out, and I was kind of like, is this a good idea? Am I gonna be disappointed that I did this? And man, I really wish I could tell if I'm live on Instagram or not. I don't know how you find that out. How do you find it out? I did all the steps, but I don't know. Let me go take a look at my other account, and no, I see other people live. It doesn't look like I'm live. It doesn't look like it worked. I clicked the go live button, and oh, there we go. Looks like I'm live now. Okay. I hit the button and nothing had happened, but it looks like it worked this time. So let me know. Can you see me on Insta? Can anyone see me on Instagram? I don't know. I don't know if anyone could. This is new. I've just linked the Instagram up to StreamYard for the first time ever. So I don't know. Maybe it worked. Maybe it didn't. Moriarty Bob says he says, good to see you, Moriarty Bob. Okay, it worked. We are streaming on Instagram too. Something new. Movie Hunter says he can see me. YouTube's not the problem, Movie Hunter. I was just trying something new. We used to simulstream to X, but I broke up with my ex. I guess you could say I broke up with the ex. So anyway, Nightbitch. I was talking about Nightbitch. I had to drive about an hour to see this movie, and I got to tell you, this is a really good movie. You probably figured that, because if Amy Adams was nominated for an award, not that people take the Golden Globes that seriously, but if Amy Adams was nominated for an award, that tells you something right there. It's a movie worth seeing, and they've made it very, very hard to see, and I don't know why they did that, especially an awards contender. Like get this movie out there, get this movie so people could see it. It's a very interesting story about motherhood and what it's like to be a mother and how hard it is. And newsflash, I've never been a mother, so I don't know. I'm not the key audience there, I suppose, but my wife is, and I think she's really going to appreciate it when she sees it, and she wants to see it, but not enough that she's going to drive to Jersey, and she's kind of more the target audience. Like this movie is going to speak to her in a way it doesn't speak to me, and I liked it, but this movie's really going to speak to her, and she isn't going to be able to see it until it's streaming on Disney Plus. I really think that's a missed opportunity, but that's where we are. I was listening to my friend's podcast today, Nutty Bites. I don't know if any of you have listened to the Nutty Bites podcast, but my friend Nutty does a great podcast called Nutty Bites. And I was listening today, and they were talking about somebody on her podcast. Her friend Jason made a comment about Hollywood being creatively bankrupt. And it's simply not true. But the problem is, the original stories, the original ideas, people aren't paying to see them. There's so many of them. And now Nightbitch, I know it was based on a book. It was based on a novel. But this isn't like an existing IP. Like, this isn't a sequel. This isn't, this is something kind of different, something kind of new. And it's not being made available to people. So when you say, well, Hollywood's creatively bankrupt, what do you want the people to do if you're not but then again, the stuff they do put out there, nobody goes to see. I'm trying to think, what are some wonderful movies this year? If did okay, I think, but If was kind of underperformed. Wonderful movie. I saw The TV Glow, wonderful movie. Argyle, wonderful movie. My Old Ass, that was a great movie. We're getting so many good original movies, and people just aren't going to see them. So Gary says, wow, this is one of the first streams I got notified of. And it's a surprise stream. Wasn't expecting to go live tonight, Gary, but here I am. You want to join us, Gary? If you want to join us, say yay or nay in the chat if you want to join. I don't know how long I'm going to be live. I just had a few things to talk about. And Fourth is here. Original ideas like Nightbitch don't get the same promotion. Never saw a trailer for Nightbitch. There you go. I mean, the poster's been hanging up in my theater every time I go see it. Every time I go to the movies, I see the poster. But yeah, they really made it a challenge to get out to this movie. There was also a great little documentary that's coming on digital, like in a week, called Chasing Amy. I did a review of that. You had to chase that one down. I had to go jump through hoops to see that. And, I was an extra in Chasing Amy, so that was of great interest to me. And it was difficult to see. Dante says, what was your best DVD or Blu-ray at the Dollar Tree? That's hard to say, Dante, because most of the Blu-rays and DVDs you find at the Dollar Tree, quite frankly, are not very good. I've kind of stopped buying stuff at the Dollar Tree because I've kind of learned that the Dollar Tree is not a great place to get movies. The movies that end up there usually end up there for a reason. One that I thought was really good that I got there was a movie called Compliance. Really, really creepy movie based on a true story about a guy who called like a McDonald's and harassed a young girl and it's really disturbing. It's really a horrible story, but it's also very interesting. All right, I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna send Gary the link. Bear with me just a second. Bear with me. Bear left, right frog. Ah! All right. Gary. Oh, Gary, you told me you were combing your hair. Who knows what movie that's from? Comment down below if you know the movie. All right. Yeah, I'm going to say Compliance. Compliance was probably the best one I bought. Oh, another one. King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. I owned it on DVD. And then I moved. And the DVD got lost in the move. And I found it again at Dollar Tree, which was just the right price for something you already bought, because you don't want to pay full price a second time, although it was my own fault for losing it. So that was a great find. Daniel says Kevin Costner Western epic was his passion project that no one came out to see. Horizon. Yes, same with Francis Ford Coppola with Megalopolis. I really need to watch the Kevin Costner movie. What's it called? Horizon. I need to watch this because I'm not really a Western guy, but my friend Heath over at Serial at Midnight really likes that movie, and I need to check it out. Lisa is here, and Lisa knows the answer. It's from Weird Science. Fourth also Compliance. Gary, welcome to the party.
What's up, Joe? Hold on, I got the stream. I got the stream on the on one, so I got double you talking.
Oh, twice the me.
Yes,
Ew.
Twice the crazy.
Handsome.
I do want to add to the comment about the Horizon and American Saga. I think that the worst thing that Kevin Costner did was say that it's part 1 in a 4-part saga. Instead of just releasing Horizon as a miniseries, they decided to release it as, this is chapter 1 in a 4-chapter film series. And people are going to look at that and just go, do I really want to commit to 4 3+ hour Western epics when I can just watch something else?
Well, I don't know, though, because, Wicked, they put out up front that was part 1.
But Wicked was also a very successful musical on Broadway. So you do have a built-in audience for Wicked.
That's true. I don't know. There is also the school of thought that Kevin Costner. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Kevin Costner fan. I don't hate the guy, but I'm not a huge Kevin Costner fan.
I think the worst thing with Kevin Costner is no one tells him to shorten his movies. A lot of his movies can get very overbloated, and no one steps in and goes, you need to cut this out because you're kind of dragging for a little too long. Even though I liked the movie Open Range, and I'm sorry I keep cutting you off, even though I liked Open Range, I do feel that Open Range really dragged in quite a few spots, but it had a great ending. But Open Range took a while to really get anything going.
Yeah, I actually didn't see Open Range, but I know the hardcore Kevin Costner fans do always say that he's at his best when he does baseball and Western movies. They say, if it's a baseball or a Western movie, that's Kevin Costner's sweet spot. So you would think a Kevin Costner 4-part, right? Yellowstone. I've never seen an episode of Yellowstone, but that's an immensely popular show. And so I don't know. And I hear it's a beautiful movie. I hear a friend of mine had suggested it should have been a TV miniseries. And then Heath from Serial at Midnight said, no. He said the scope on that movie, it needed to be seen on a big screen. So I don't know. I didn't go see it. I go see almost everything, but I didn't go see it because I'm really not a Western guy. I don't hate Westerns, but I'm just not drawn. Of all the genres, the Western genre is probably the one I'm the least drawn to. But I do want to check it out now because he's been singing the praises of it for months. So I feel like I really need to give it a watch.
My problem with Westerns, even though I do like the genre at times, is that in my opinion, if any Western movie goes on longer than 2 hours, they tend to really drag it out longer than it needs to go. And that's what's stopping me from watching Horizon and American Saga. Is like, do I want to sit through a 3+ hour Western epic? That stopped me from watching Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning Part 1 is that every time I try to boot it up, I have to think, do I really want to watch a near 3-hour Mission Impossible movie? I did that with No Time to Die, the 25th James Bond movie. And about 10 minutes after that movie ended, despite it being the longest James Bond movie now, I don't remember 1 minute of No Time to Die.
And I'm not a James Bond fan, so I never saw that. I heard it's excellent. Like I've heard nothing but praise for it, but I didn't see it. Hey, Noah is here. Noah, this is a surprise live stream. Wasn't expecting to go live, but if you would like to join us, let me know and I'll shoot you over the link. Fourth says skip Yellowstone, watch Landman. I haven't heard of Landman. Dante wants to know about the Cinderella with Brandy. I think he asked about it somewhere else here. Oh, did you like the Cinderella movie with Brandy? I got to be honest with you, Dante. I never saw it. Now,
when did Disney make a Cinderella movie with Brandy?
In the 90s, I think.
Okay. So around the same time they remade The Jungle Book live action?
Yeah, I think it was a made-for-TV movie. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, Dante, please let me know. It's based on the...
I see Dante put in the chat 97.
It's based on the Rodgers and Hammerstein version of Cinderella.
Okay, so it's a musical.
Mistaken. Yeah, I am I right on that? Dante, it's the Rodgers and Hammerstein, because I'll tell you, I never saw the movie, but my daughter's high school just put on the Rodgers and Hammerstein version of Cinderella a couple months ago, and I went and saw it, and I'll tell you, I mean, the kids did a great job. Nothing against the kids. They did a great job. They can sing, they can act. They're great kids. But I didn't think the songs were that good in the Rodgers and Hammerstein version. Like, I'm watching it and I'm like, these songs are kind of weak. I mean, there's a couple really good songs, but as a whole, I thought it was a letdown. So I mean, and Dante says yes, it was the Rodgers and Hammerstein version. So, all right, I hang on, Noah. I will send you the link. Again, surprise live stream. Bear with me a second here.
I do agree with James. Phineas and Ferb never got a complete series on DVD. I do agree. That should have come out at this point.
My daughter just recently got completely hooked on.
I'm gonna put into perspective how young I am. Phineas and Ferb came out on the Disney Channel when I was like 10, 11 years old. And that was in 2007.
I do like Phineas and Ferb. That's a pretty fun show. The episode with the Comic-Con, where the like fantasy versus the sci-fi geeks, that is just so funny. And Kevin Smith is the voice of like the special effects artist.
See, with me and Phineas and Ferb, I really got into it in like the first season. I was kind of hit or miss on the second season. So, and I really don't remember it outside of like those very, very early episodes, like the first like 10 to 20, because Disney at that time did have standalone releases where they would release like a few episodes at a time, and that was the best you would ever get from like a Disney Channel original show, and I would watch the crap out of those DVDs, and so I got really familiar with like those episodes that released a DVD, and that was really it.
See, and that's the thing. I don't even know what season's what. Like, I've seen random episodes on the Disney Channel back in the day, and now my daughter's binging them on Disney Plus, and I just kind of walk in the room, and I don't know where she is in the series. So I still just kind of see random bits. Oh, and the movies. They did some made-for-TV movies.
Yes, they did Phineas and Ferb the movie. That was, I think it was Across the Second Dimension. And then they did a couple of specials on Disney XD. They did a Marvel special in, I think, 2014. They did a Star Wars special in 2015. And then they just did they did a new one. It's released exclusively on Disney Plus. When I was a guest
Gary, lost you. You're
on
mic
the, I
cut
think I
out.
gave it like a middling review at the time. I don't even remember what.
Oh, your mic had cut out for a minute there.
Did
You're back now.
okay? When did it cut out?
You said when I was a guest, and then your voice completely.
Oh, when I was a guest on the all new Mega Podtastic podcast a few years ago, I think I gave the Phineas and Ferb movie a middling review. I don't even remember what it was called. If someone in the chat could probably tell me what it was called, because I don't remember. It was the one that released exclusively to Disney Plus. I theorized at the time was going to be a Disney Channel original movie, and then when they announced Disney Plus was coming out, they made it a Disney Plus original movie. But anyway, sorry, Joe, I kept cutting you off.
Oh, that's all right. James Borland says the Marvel special was 2013.
Thank you. It was 2013.
2014. And Lil Everett says one of them was called
Candace Against the Universe. That's the movie. That's
By the way,
Disney Plus original movie.
Lil Everett says yodeling.
Was that a response to Home on the Range?
I don't know. Lil Everett always comes in here and yodels at us. By the way, no, I sent you a link. I don't know if you got it. I want to address this. I was actually, I should have said something about this sooner. I probably should have put a video out. Todd Tuckey, owner of TNT Amusements, who has quite a presence here on YouTube. There's a TNT Amusements YouTube channel, and I've been there when he's doing his live streams before, and I did on the Crazy Joe Adventures channel. I did a walkthrough of his showroom, and it was a great day I spent with Todd. I really like Todd, great guy. Very sad news. His wife rather unexpectedly passed away around this time last week. So if you watch Todd over on TNT Amusements, be sure and send him your condolences. It's very sad. He and his wife actually got engaged on one of his old 90s infomercials. He was very famous in the Philly area for buying up TV time late at night and doing these late night infomercials. So throughout the 90s in the Philly area, this guy was kind of a celebrity because we all watched his infomercials. We'd be out at the bar, get home late, and there was Todd showing off all his pinball machines. And in one of those infomercials, he got engaged to his wife, Pam. So it's heartbreaking. And my deepest condolences go out to Todd, the entire Tuckey family, everyone at TNT Amusements. I only met Pam, I think, twice, but it's very sad. So we're thinking about you, Todd. And when you're feeling up to it again, I got to get back up there, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to get in their hair because they got a lot on their minds right now. So there you go. So Gary, I was actually thinking about you today because do you know what I bought when I went to see Nightbitch?
What'd you buy?
I bought a collectible popcorn bucket.
Of course you did.
I bought the and it wasn't for Nightbitch. They don't make a Nightbitch popcorn bucket, believe it or not.
I'm gonna guess. Did you buy the Nosferatu sarcophagus popcorn bucket?
No. First of all, it's a regular pot. It's not like a fancy shape or something. It's a regular.
Oh, it's popcorn. One of the. Is it like a wraparound?
Yeah, it's one of the tins. One of the little tins that's like embossed with the but it's for the movie Red One. And,
okay.
I really enjoyed Red One. I thought it was a fun movie, and I figured it's not doing so hot in theaters. I'm like, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of Red One merch out there. I'm going to buy this popcorn bucket. So I was excited by it. I was happy.
How many popcorn buckets do you have in your house, Joe? If you care to admit, or if you want to plead the fifth, that's fine.
We have a lot. We have a lot, different shapes, different sizes. I mean, the decorative popcorn buckets I don't eat popcorn out of. Like you can't see them right now, but I got like the Batman cowl over there. I got the Ant-Man helmet. I got a Scream one. Those are just kind of ornamental. I don't put popcorn in them. But I have some big tubs. And my rule basically is I'm not going to buy it for just any movie. It's got to be a movie I love. And I've got, for the big tubs, I've got like a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I've got an Avengers Infinity War, I want to say. Shazam. The original Shazam. I have quite a few of those big tubs. Solo, a Star Wars story. Last Jedi. I don't know. I got a bunch of those. Then the tins, like we were talking about, I got a few of those. I got Guardians Volume 3, Blue Beetle, and Thor Love and Thunder. Oh, and Wonder Woman 84. So those are, and we eat a lot of popcorn. We make popcorn at least once or twice a week. So those popcorn buckets get used.
I think it's important to establish some context for this segment. I made a video where I basically did like a quasi rant about these collectible popcorn buckets and how insane they're getting. And I'll give the Cliff Notes version here. And that my overall thesis is that now it feels like every major movie is getting these like collectible popcorn buckets. Like back when Steelbooks first started, it was only like a handful of movies would get Steelbook releases, and so they felt more special. But now every movie gets a Steelbook release, therefore the Steelbooks themselves are no longer special. That's basically the gist.
See, I don't agree with that premise. I'll get to that in a second. First of all, I just want to celebrate the fact that a face I have not seen pop up in my chat in a long time is here.
Yeah.
Aubrey Chaddock is here. Great to see you, Aubrey. And she points out she's got a popcorn bucket from me. I used to have that contest because I got the refillable buckets from AMC every year. And at the end of the year, they weren't refillable anymore. So we were going to throw them out. And the first year we were going to throw them out. Christine's like, I'll throw it out. It's no good anymore. And I just thought, I wonder if anyone would want it. And I put a contest up, win Crazy Joe's bucket. And Aubrey won. So Aubrey has one of my.
How long ago was that contest? Was that like 2019? Because I entered that contest. It was before I started YouTubing.
It's pre-pandemic. I'll tell you that.
I think it was 2019.
Aubrey, don't be a stranger.
Because I remember. I think the guidelines for it was that we had to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score of I can't remember the movie. Now. It was 5 years ago, and we had to send them all in via email. And I remember one person got it right on the nose, but left it as a YouTube comment, so he was disqualified. And I almost stole his answer, but it's no, there's no way that this could be right. And lo and behold, he got it right on the nose.
Aubrey says she has the 2018 bucket. So
okay, so it must have been 2019 when you ran the contest.
Noah's here. Noah. Welcome, Noah.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, Noah. Do you know Gary? Have you guys met?
I don't think we've ever met.
I believe so. Hey man, what's up?
What's up, Noah? I think we've talked in live chats, but that's been about it.
I think so. I feel completely naked. Give me just 1 second. There we go.
So Noah, I have to ask you, are you a jet or are you a shark?
Oh, well, see, it depends on which version.
Now, Noah, you're wearing your West Side Story hat. And I got to confess, I have not seen West Side Story. And I think I got to correct that because I do love Steven Spielberg. I think I was a little put off by West Side Story because I had read that Spielberg was going to have some of the dialogue in Spanish without subtitles. And I don't speak Spanish. And I was like, I'm not going to know what the heck they're saying.
They don't do it often. They do it maybe 4% of the time.
I think that's the biggest thing that hurts Spielberg's West Side Story, though, is that they decided we're not going to subtitle the all Spanish-speaking scenes.
At at least they shouldn't have publicized it by putting that out ahead of time. Like if you're going to do that, by telling people, oh, by the way, there's going to be parts of dialogue you're not going to understand. It kind of kept me out of the theater, and I'm a Spielberg guy, so I don't know. I do need to catch up on that though.
And the other problem is that the 1961 movie with Natalie Wood is so quote unquote legendary that is seen as the definitive version of West Side Story.
But
I actually think that the new one is better just because of all those sets were amazing. Rachel has cemented herself as a rising star, regardless of what she's said, but she's still a massive star. That movie has a better version of her song Tonight, a way better version. But I will say that the original version had well, some people saw the Broadway show, right? But it's not as big as it once was. So this one had a lot more than the 61 version did.
What's funny is I've never seen the 61 version. My only experience with West Side Story, it was a local high school production. I was in the 8th grade, and there was a high school. Excuse me, I had a popcorn kernel stuck in my mouth, ironically. So I went to the high school was about a block away. We had to walk to it, and they were putting on a production of a West Side Story, and they invited the middle school to attend a show like Friday. This was during the day because they were opening Friday night, but we got to sit in, not exactly a dress rehearsal, but like a soft open. So that's my only experience with West Side Story.
The 61 version moves very, very slowly. That movie felt like it was 2.5 hours. The 2021 version, I saw that in theaters, and it was opening weekend. Granted, we went to a 10:30 a.m. screening, so there's not going to be very many people at a 10:30 a.m. screening, but that movie did everything well, and it moved at a rapid pace. That man can shoot any sort of a film. My God, Spielberg might be the greatest filmmaker of all time. Might be, maybe.
If him or Hitchcock.
What I was going to interject with, if we're going to talk about the best version of I Feel Pretty, we need to talk about the version sung by Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson in the movie Anger Management.
Yeah.
At least top 5.
No, I want to echo what you said, though, because I haven't seen West Side Story, but despite what the trolls might say, and I know she's been a victim of a lot of trolling, I just saw Y2K the other day, and you are absolutely right. Rachel Zegler is an immense talent. She is just a heck of an actress. She's got quite a career ahead of her. Yeah. I've seen her in 3 movies now. West Side Story wasn't one of them. But I first saw her in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, a movie that I love. She was great in that. I didn't even like the movie Hunger Games Ballad of Songbird. I think Songbirds and Snakes. I wasn't crazy about the movie, but she was a standout. And again, she's really good in Y2K. This girl, it's sad that a bunch of online incels are. She's kind of become the new Brie Larson, and guess what? Brie Larson's doing quite good. Her Apple TV series was excellent. What was that called? I'm blanking on the name.
Lessons in Chemistry.
Great show. So yeah, these dudes aren't going to hurt Rachel Zegler's career in the least. So, but
I think the worst thing that she's doing is making her political opinions public. And she's doing it at a time where she doesn't really have the clout to get away with it. It's not like a Bette Midler or an Alec Baldwin where they've been around for so long that they could get away with it because they have a body of work they can point to. She's just starting out.
Yeah, but that's not going to hurt her even a little bit. First of all, she came out very, very strongly anti-Trump.
It hurt Marlon Brando back in the 70s. when he did that. What was her name? I can't remember her name at the Oscars where he set her up to go accept
Native
it.
American, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a little bizarre. That wasn't just like a political thing. That was like, he didn't get up there and just make a political statement. That was a little weird the way that went down. But she came out as very, very anti-Trump, and most of Hollywood is anti-Trump. So that's not going to keep her from getting work. They're not going to be like, oh, let's not call Rachel, because they all agree with her. And so do I, quite frankly. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll call a rapist a son of a bitch, and not be afraid. So, but yeah, no,
I will say this. The only thing I didn't really care that she said is how she harped on Snow White so hard before even a trailer ever came out. Nobody knew that thing was even out soon, and she just bludgeoned everybody with it. This is so different. It's so different. It's so different. The issue is a lot of people now haven't seen that 30s film, so this will be their first exposure to the Snow White story. Because some people that I know have never seen that original animated classic. My God, that was one of the first movies I ever saw. And this is just going to be exposing it to everybody now.
See, and here's the thing. I don't think she said anything wrong in regards to Snow White. I mean, basically, it was like 2 interviews. She did 2 interviews where she said something like, well, she's not going to be a damsel in distress. We're going to kind of update it. And but the worst people on the internet took those 2 interviews and just replayed them. And I got news for you. It was totally disingenuous, because those guys, like the guys over at Geeks and Gamers and all them, I guarantee you those dudes are not like huge Snow White fans. Like, they're not on Friday night going, oh man, what a tough week at work. What am I going to, let's sit down and watch Snow White. There's a 0% chance they're doing that. It was all about clicks for those guys. They really don't, they don't care one way or the other. But I'll tell you, the target audience, my daughters, my 17-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old daughter can't wait to see the movie. This isn't going to hurt that film at all. The only way it hurts the film is if, Fox News McGee says he's not going to take his kids to see it. I don't know if there's actually a guy out there named Fox.
I don't think that those Rachel Zegler interviews were the worst thing for Snow White. I think the worst thing that happened were those leaked set photos where they basically were like, yeah, there's no dwarves in it. Yeah, they kind of kept it no, but it's like, why are you not having dwarves in Snow White and the 7 dwarves when in the original Snow White, it was the dwarves that were the most iconic part of the movie?
Yeah, but even then, those were set photos from before the special effects. Like, I mean, if you saw a set photo from King Kong and you saw Andy like Circus with golf balls on,
but Disney, but the Walt Disney Company should have come out ahead of that when those set photos were leaking, and people were speculating that they're cutting out the dwarves out of Snow White instead of just going pure radio silent and allowing that narrative to build for months and months and months, that the dwarves are not going to be part of this movie at all.
What I think might happen is Disney has a very mixed record. So with their live actions, I was very scared, right? I was very scared. Aladdin, that first trailer came out, I'm like, this looks stupid. It looks like a rehash. This Snow White is giving more characters a lot more story. Whereas, what did that prince do in the original film? He showed up, he sang, and he scared her away. At the very end of the film, he comes in and he saves her with a kiss. He's on screen for 2 minutes. He has no name. In this film, he has a name. He has songs. He has an actual story here. So they're making it a better film, and giving them more character.
And
well,
that's
the
another
defense.
thing. That's
The
another thing
defense to that is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, Joe, but I got to say this is that the prince's scenes were cut. There was going to be a lot more involving the prince in the 1937 animated movie, but it was due to budget constraints as to why the prince's role got reduced.
But I'll tell you, that's another area where it's kind of disingenuous criticism, because one of the complaints people always have is, oh, these live action remakes are pointless. They're pointless. It's the same thing. But then when they do something different, they complain, wait, you changed the story? Well, you can't have it both ways. Do you want not be the same, or do you want it to be exactly the same? Because when Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King came out, they were almost shot for shot the same movies, and people were like, what's the point? And I'm personally, I think the best one of these live action remakes has been Dumbo, which went in a different direction. Dumbo was not the same. I mean, it evoked the original. There was touches of the original, but it kind of went in its own direction. And Cruella, which I saw, Noah, you have the poster hanging on your wall. We caught that when you were showing us regular.
I love this movie so much. It delivers exactly what an origin story needs to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, I anytime they go in a different direction and branch out and try something a little different, I think that's a good thing. So so the Snow White's not going to be a carbon copy of the original. Good, we got the original. Give us something unique. I don't know. It's opening on my birthday, so I'll be spending my birthday with Snow White.
My birthday is tomorrow, and I don't got no movies. So.
And then in 20 minutes from now, we have to say happy birthday to you. If we're still on in 20 minutes. I don't know. I wasn't planning to go live tonight, so this is all a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. Since I have been on a stream, I finally got to see Wicked.
Oh, what did you think?
Which, that's my favorite movie of the entire year.
Mine too.
I loved it. And today I just watched I see him on the poster. Hugh Grant's new horror film.
Oh, Heretic.
Yeah, I just saw that today. Oh my God, he deserves more recognition. He was one creepy SOB, but I loved almost every minute of that movie.
Let me get out my list. This is the book where I write down every time I go to the movies. Every time I go to the theater, I write it down. Let's go down the list here to the beginning of 2024, because we always hear nothing original. Okay. January, Night Swim. I didn't like it, but that's a movie that wasn't part of an IP, wasn't a sequel. We got Night Swim. The Beekeeper, a lot of fun. ISS, about the astronauts on the space station. Very underseen movie, really good. Argyle, which I really enjoyed. Loved Argyle. That didn't do so well, but it should have. Lisa Frankenstein, I didn't love it. A lot of people did. A lot of people thought Lisa Frankenstein was phenomenal. This is just we're still in February here. We've got Late Night with the Devil. Civil War. I wasn't crazy about Civil War, but we had Civil War. We had Abigail, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Boy Kills World. I saw the TV Glow. If The Watchers. I didn't really like that, but it was original. The Kinds of Kindness. Fly Me to the Moon. Long Legs. Oddity. Trap. And people say that there's nothing original out. And Heretic is just one of the latest. Heretic is another just phenomenal movie I saw this year. I'm going to have a hard time picking a top 10 best films this year, because Heath from Serial at Midnight is right. This has been one of the best years for movies in a long time. Am I frozen? Looks like I'm frozen.
Yes, Joe, you're frozen.
There I am. This has been one of the best years for movies in God knows how long. And we have people saying, "Oh, there's nothing new. They're creative." Like, no, it's out there. You just gotta go see it.
I think that the biggest problem plaguing these movies is just the lack of marketing. The same thing happened with The Last Duel back in 2021. Everyone who saw it said it was great.
I don't know how you market
there were no trailers for that movie until 2 weeks before it was going to come on theaters.
See, I don't know how you market a movie anymore, though, because people don't really watch commercial television anymore. People get they stream and they get commercial free. If you like, I remember people were saying last year, "Oh, I didn't see a single trailer for Shazam 2." Well, I saw a trailer for Shazam 2 literally every time I went to the movies from October to March. So the question is, and then people go, "Well, I wasn't going to the movies." Okay, so if you're putting trailers in the movies and people aren't going to the movies, then you're not getting the word out. You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the people who were already there.
Exactly.
So what do you do now? How do you get the word out? What is good marketing today? I don't know that they've figured it out.
They really haven't. One study just came. So this is a stupid thing for any studio to do. It's all on TikTok. Most of those ads are paid for on there now. All the marketing that I've seen is on a Facebook or a Instagram ad and on a TikTok ad. I scroll through there and I see multiple ads for films, but that's just me. Most of what I watch is all film stuff, so it's made and for me. For other people, I have no idea how you even do any of that movies. I mean, my God. And all the films that earn the most money, about 9 out of every 10. No, 9 out of the 10 were all sequels, if not all 10 were a sequel property. And if they want more originals, they need to speak with their money. But if they don't want any more sequels, you need to speak with your wallet, because you are contradicting what you just said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add to Noah's point real quick. I think another big problem that cannot be ignored is the increased cost of ticket prices. So let's just put this out there. I know that Longlegs made a ton of money. Made what, $100 million on like a $5-10 million budget? It was somewhere around there. So yeah. Are you gonna run the risk of going to see Longlegs or Argyle or Trap, or are you gonna go see Deadpool and Wolverine just because the sheer cost of the ticket alone? Because at least with Deadpool Wolverine, with Deadpool 3, you know what you're walking into if you've seen the first 2 Deadpool movies. With Longlegs, that's uncharted territory. With Trap, that's uncharted territory. So if you have an increased ticket price and you really want to go and see the movies, I know that there's AMC A-List. I know that there's Regal Unlimited. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about normie. I hate to use the term normie consumer, but I can't think of a better term right now, that only goes to the movies every now and then. What are they going to pick? Are they going to go into the uncharted territory if the ticket price is going to be the same as Deadpool and Wolverine, or are they going to go into Deadpool and Wolverine because at least they know what to expect?
You see, that's the thing. We gotta, and I think we're succeeding. Like I'm very optimistic. I know Heath is not optimistic. We had this discussion when he was here, but I feel we're getting better. I feel like right now we're in the get butts in seats stage, post pandemic, post strike. You gotta get people back in the theater because people got out of the habit of going to the movies. You got to get them back in the habit. If it takes Wolverine and Deadpool to do that, if it takes what are the other ones people are going to? Wicked is kind of sort of an IP. I mean, it's a Broadway musical, but it's it's not a sequel or a franchise.
Moana 2, $600 million.
Exactly.
But
Already.
But isn't Moana like the most streamed movie on Disney Plus?
Yes,
I think it is. Or at least in the top 10.
It's
Moana 2
the
started
most film.
as a Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That then got retrofitted to a movie.
Which is stupid. It should have been a movie from the beginning.
Yeah. It's the most streamed film on any service over the last 2 years straight. 2 years in a row, it was Moana. So,
Wow,
I mean,
man.
everybody is rushing to it.
Moana's bigger than Frozen now. So
Yeah. Until the third one is out, and then, my God, automatic villain. I'm sorry.
That's what I keep saying. You get butts back in seats. And like we talk about the marketing, well, if you're playing trailers and nobody's in the theater, who's seeing those trailers?
Okay. Skull, put up Skullman's comment regarding me up on the screen right now. I want to address that real quick.
No, we don't.
Okay, but let me. Okay, not up on screen. Oppenheimer was a biopic about the person who was on the Manhattan Project, and Barbie was an IP film. They were not original movies. Yes, you're right that they made a ton of money, but to say that they're both original movies is intellectually dishonest. So I'm sorry, Joe. You can go back to it.
Yeah. Last time we had Skullman on a stream, he started dropping some slurs.
So I wasn't here for that. I wasn't there for that, but still, if you're gonna make an intellectually dishonest statement like that, I'm sorry for calling it out and wasting time on the show.
No.
If that was the case,
it's all good. Skullman was popping up here week after week after week and asking to join the stream. And if it was just on my channel, I'd say sure. Here's the link. Let's see what this guy's got to say. But we're simulcasting on Max's stream. And I'm like, well, I can't put an unknown on Max's stream. I'm not going to do that. But a few weeks later, Perp and I were doing a stream on Perp's channel, and Skullman showed up, and he wanted to join the stream. So Perp gave him the link, and he dropped some anti-gay slurs on air. And Perp had to delete the entire stream because of it. It was a pretty good stream up till then too. The whole stream got deleted. Skullman's not welcome around here.
Oh, sorry about that.
But it is what it is. So, where were we though? I forget where we were. I can't. I say you get the butts. People are in the theater. If you're marketing, they're going to see that then. Like, okay, you want to talk about original? Every Pixar movie. It didn't have to be a sequel. Every Pixar movie was an event. People knew Pixar makes great movies. They were going to go see Pixar. The only thing that killed that momentum was the pandemic. And Bob Chapek's foolish decision to give 3 consecutive Pixar movies away for free on Disney Plus. There were other movies on Disney Plus that they were like, well, we'll do it. It'll be in the theater and on Disney Plus, and you have to pay $30 to see it on Disney Plus. So like Black Widow, Jungle Cruise, you had to pay $30 if you wanted to watch them on Disney Plus. Not so with the Pixar movies. Soul, Turning Red, and Luca, they were just, here it is. No extra charge, not playing it. And they devalued the brand. And
Lightyear suffered because of it.
Yeah, like Lightyear, people want to go and be like, Lightyear failed because there was 30 seconds of a gay couple kissing. No, bullshit. The movie didn't fail because of that. It failed because the brand had been devalued and people thought, oh, Pixar movies, those are the thing I watch for free on television. It finally started to turn around with Elemental. Elemental had the snowball effect where it opened slow and people were like, it's a failure, but it kept going and going and going, rolling downhill, and it ended its run fairly it did fairly well for itself at the end of its run after staying in theaters for like a really, really, like it built word of mouth. And now Inside Out 2, Pixar's back. So yeah, but that was stuff that people were willing to go see, and if it was, even if it wasn't a sequel, they'd be like Inside Out 1, people went to see it. What are some of the others? I'm blanking on some of the Pixar movies, but they always did well. Sequel or not, they always did well.
Brave and Coco and
Yeah.
stuff, and
I
stuff
think
like that.
I think The Good Dinosaur was like their only failure in the 2010s.
Yeah.
Oh, and Cars 2. Cars 2 was awful.
Cars 2 was not good, but it was a mess.
It made a lot of money, but it wasn't good. But yeah, I think The Good Dinosaur, I don't think, did that like barely break even at the time? This was 2016.
I think that barely broke even. I think so.
Mm.
I think. Let me check that.
It's actually a really...
Yeah, because I do remember that The Good Dinosaur was like Pixar's only failure of the 2010s.
Pixar, the Good Dinosaur was kind of a disaster too, because they had to go back to like that movie was almost completely shot, and they had the dialogue recorded, and they went back and they changed the movie, and they fired the entire voice cast, and I think all the dialogue.
Yeah, I think like Neil Patrick Harris was originally in The Good Dinosaur.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Lightyear, the tragedy of Lightyear is that there has never been a Pixar movie that lends itself more to a franchise. You could do Lightyear 2, Lightyear 3, Lightyear 4. That is a franchise that could keep going. But no, they didn't. It's probably not going to happen because now you never know. It is animation. It is living on Disney Plus. Maybe that movie finds an audience somewhere down the line, and you could always do another one later because it's animation. It's not like the cast is getting older, but probably not. And that's a film that could have been a franchise easily.
But Joe, to add to your point about Pixar movies not doing well in the 2020s, anyone like a lot of people could point out that every studio goes through its peaks and valleys. Pixar was huge in the 90s into the 2000s, even the 2010s, as I brought up. The Good Dinosaur was Pixar's only really big failure, and that still did not bomb. But then going into the 2020s, it just went into a natural valley. Everyone has their highs and lows.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, because they were riding high until the pandemic. Like we actually know right where the wall was.
Yep.
It was until that pandemic. They were. And it's like that with a lot of things. I always say people are very, very disingenuous about things because everyone's got their thing. You've got guys out there who have this hate boner for Disney. And they're like, Disney's failing right, like about a year ago. They'll be like, Disney's failing right now because they went woke. Ignoring the fact that all the DC movies and Mission Impossible and all these other big movies failed too. Then you'll get the DC guys that are going, the DC movies are failing right now because they got rid of Zack Snyder. Ignoring the fact that all the Disney movies are also failing, and Mission Impossible. And if you looked at the big picture, none of those narratives made sense because it was all the movies are failing. Every movie is failing except for and then people go, that's not true. What about Mario and Barbie? And it's like, if you can name both of the hits on your one hand, that just proves our point.
All franchise movies were failing in 2023.
Right. Exactly.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 had a near identical opening weekend to Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny.
Right.
I think the thing that hurt Indiana Jones 5 more was the fact that the production budget just soared to like close to $300 million. Same with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And it's mostly because of COVID restrictions. How much did the budget get up to for Dead Reckoning Part 1? Was it close to 300 mil?
It was
340, I think. 340 million.
Okay. And I know Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny got up to like 300 million. But that was obviously everything. You also had all the problems pre-COVID as well with that movie, had a long production history.
Mission Impossible had so many starts and stops. Like they paused that movie like
and remember, Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2 were originally going to film back to back.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
And then that didn't happen because Tom Cruise filmed Top Gun Maverick, but they didn't change the title of Dead Reckoning Part 1. They left the Part 1 in the title. So how much did that Part 1 hurt the box office? Because, oh, great, it's going to be an incomplete story until Part 2 comes out, and Part 2 is not guaranteed to come out. This happened with it. I can point to so many series where this happened, but remember, do you guys remember the Divergent series, the Divergent movies?
Oh yeah.
I hate those movies because they killed the Muppets.
Okay, but the third book was going to be split into two parts. I don't remember what the title of the third book was, but the third movie. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Allegiant came out, and I think Allegiant bombed at the time, if I'm remembering it correctly, and they never released the fourth movie that was going to be part 2 of that third book.
Uh-huh.
Again, that's the first one I'm thinking of. There's many others where it's like, here's like part 1, but then part 2 never comes out. So the answer throws their hands up and go, oh, great. Fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So why am I going to give Dead Reckoning Part 1 a chance? Why don't I just wait for Part 2 to release and then I'll watch Part 1?
Well, I think the difference there is we knew that there was going to be a Dead Reckoning Part 2 no matter what, because it's Mission Impossible. That's a huge multi-million-dollar franchise. It's the only Mission Impossible movie to not do well at the box office.
That's because of the ballooning production budget.
Well, I don't know. That production budget couldn't have been avoided with the stops and starts and stops and starts.
Yeah, but I think they should have taken part 1 out of the title. It would have had a better shot if they just removed that part 1 from the title. Just call it Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and that's it. And then call the next movie something different, even if it's a direct continuation from Dead Reckoning.
Keep in mind, a lot of the other movies that have had part 1 and part 2 in the title have been very successful, like the Hunger Games and the Twilight movies. I mean, we've had a lot of Deathly Hallows. We've had a lot of part 1s, part 2s lately, and only a couple have really failed. By the way, I gotta call this out. Bloom Driver says maybe Hollywood just needs to make better movies. No, because they're making excellent movies.
I think another problem that cannot be ignored. It's not that they need to make better movies. It's that they need to start making shorter movies again. It's getting ridiculous how many movies are exceeding 2.5.
I think it's getting better.
No,
you know what? I would have agreed with you on this maybe a year or two ago, but I think it's getting better. I think this year we've been more in that. You still get your things like Dune, which are really long, but and Wicked, but I think we've had more, reasonable run times this past year than we've had in some of the others.
There is one film in 2020 that took the biggest hit from me.
By the way, it's past midnight. Happy birthday, Noah.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 26 years young.
Wow, I'm older than you. I'm hold on, I gotta do some real math. I'm turning 28 this year, so it's not by much.
Guys, you guys make me feel ancient.
But the one film, the last film I saw in theaters was Onward. That movie was doing so well, and then everything shut down, and that film made a total of $133 million worldwide.
You know what movie got? There was another movie that got really affected by COVID that wasn't Onward. Do you remember a movie called The Hunt? That was released by Blumhouse. It was only in theaters for 1 weekend, and then the theater shut down.
But then it
with Onward was in theaters for a month up to the shutdown.
No.
Oh no.
Theaters shut down the weekend. It had 1 weekend, one single weekend. Onward had. It opened on Friday. Theaters were shut on
going. Oh, I remember going to Onward opening night, and then my theater showed I Still Believe for like 3 days, and then that thing left, and they played no movies until Tenet. I think the last movie I saw in theaters, no, the first movie I saw in theaters after they opened back up was Tenet.
Tenet was one of the first. Another one that was one of the first was Unhinged with Russell Crowe.
Yep.
And
Yep, I went back to those.
That was a movie I wasn't even planning to see, but I went and saw it because they were the studio was insistent that they wanted to be the first movie to open again. And I was so happy nobody was opening new movies that I was like, if they're going to push to be the first movie, I'm going to go see it. And it was a good movie. By the way, Anthony Cheeseman is saying something that has never been true. If you make it good, people will come. That has never been the case.
The problem is you can make a good movie, but if you put no marketing behind it, who's going to know it exists?
Yeah, like
I brought up the example of The Last Duel earlier. Sorry, Noah, I cut you off. What were you saying?
That movie, oh my god, The Last Duel is one of the greatest bombs I've ever seen. But also with Blade Runner 2049, that had some marketing. But the issue is if you don't tell what the movie is about, nobody's going to go and see it. It doesn't matter what that name is. If you don't give any idea of what that movie is remotely about, like that one didn't, that's your issue.
They played up the mystery angle too much.
Yep. And they gave away where Ford is in that film. You sit for so long to see Ford come back. So sorry. That was part of that big mystery. Where is he at? And all you have to do is look at that color palette. And that color palette, that immediate change, Harrison Ford's right in this scene. He's coming out now. That's what sucked that out of it. Were those two big things and that outrageous 2 hour and 46-minute bloated runtime. My God, that thing should have been 2 hours maximum. But anyways.
I always say that when people equate box office with quality, like the idea of like what people will say, like, well, that movie couldn't have been good. It bombed at the box office. When I hear that, I think immediately you don't know your film history, because the number of classic movies that have bombed at the box office, it's immense. Starting with Citizen Kane, you can get to Citizen Kane, It's a Wonderful Life. You can get to the more modern films like The Big Lebowski. These movies, Encanto is probably one of the most recent, because Encanto, again, it was that boneheaded decision. They opened that movie in early November, and they made a public announcement. Hey, we're putting this movie in theaters. And guess what? In just 30 days, on Christmas Eve, you'll be able to watch this on Disney Plus. Guess what happened? Nobody went and saw that movie. Nobody. It did terrible.
If box office was indicative of quality, then Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides is the best Pirates of the Caribbean movie in the entire series.
Yeah.
And it is to me. I'm not gonna lie, that's my favorite one. That's my favorite of the Pirates movies.
Damn, Noah, you ruined my point. But okay. Everyone knows that the best is Curse of the Black Pearl, okay? But also remember, Shawshank Redemption barely broke even back in '94. It didn't find its audience till it came out to home video. Also, the movie Tremors with Kevin Bacon. There were interviews at the time where Kevin Bacon thought that he destroyed his career because he was in the movie Tremors, and then Tremors became like the most rented movie of 1990, according to like a Blockbuster. That's why every Tremors sequel was straight to video, by the way.
I have a movie sitting on my desk right in front of me that I think is destined to be one of the most reevaluated films in the coming years. It's a film that bombed, and I think within the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to hear people going back and going, hey, that was pretty good. Joker 2.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that hurt Joker 2 was announcing it was a musical.
I don't think so. I don't think so. People love musicals. I think one of the biggest things that is hurting musicals right now overall is that um, they're not committing to it. Like even Wonka. Wonka came out. They didn't play any of the songs from Wonka in the trailer. Same thing with
None.
Mean Girls. The Mean Girls musical. There was nothing. People didn't know
How-
that was a musical going in.
Yeah, I was about to say how many people knew that the Mean Girls movie was an adaptation of the Broadway musical and not a remake of the 2004 movie with Lindsay Lohan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean going back to marketing there. If you're gonna do an adaptation of a Broadway musical, but not put any of the songs in the trailer, everyone with that Mean Girls movie went, "Oh, great, another pointless remake."
I gotta point out, Ghost Bumbles here made 3 statements. 2 of them can be chalked up to opinion. One of them is completely wrong. The opinions, he says, biggest things that hurt Joker 2 are bad writing and crappy story. That's opinion. I disagree. I thought it had good writing and a good story. And the way it completely undoes the first movie, that doesn't happen. That I can flat out say doesn't happen. So
It does not happen. No.
Yes.
Here's the thing though. I finally saw it, and that movie does not. It's not awful. It's definitely not as bad as everybody says. What really sucked it out for me was that pacing issue. Whew. It moves at a snail's pace for a good 20 minutes. But besides that ending is genius. That ending is exactly what Arthur Fleck would have done in that moment.
And that ending actually supports the first movie. It doesn't undo anything. It actually makes the first movie a better film, I think. So, also, I got to correct him. He says Mean Girls musical is just bad to begin with, so becoming a movie and not doing well makes sense. Okay, well, the quality is subjective, but it was, you say it's bad to begin with. It was a hit on Broadway, and the movie did not do well. The movie actually was quite successful. Paramount was kind of applauded when that movie came out because they were originally planning to make it a Paramount Plus streaming exclusive, and they actually turned quite a big profit off the film by releasing it to theaters. And a lot of insiders were like, see, this is why you need to release your films to theaters. This movie made a lot of money, and it wouldn't have made that money had it gone direct to streaming. So that movie was definitely a success.
I think the biggest issue with the Mean Girls musical is that the 2004 movie is seen as a classic versus if you go back and watch Hairspray, obviously the original John Waters movie didn't do as well at the time, but it became a huge Broadway musical. And then when the 2007 movie came out and it was an adaptation of that musical, most people only knew Hairspray, the Broadway musical, not Hairspray the movie that the musical was based off of. And I see Aubrey's comment about the Greatest Showman. What I did not like about the Greatest Showman at the time is that it didn't market itself as a musical. It marketed itself as a biopic of P.T. Barnum. And so when all of a sudden it opens up with that musical number, for me it was very jarring. I just threw my hands up, turned the movie off, and never went back to it because I was so mad it was a musical and they didn't tell you it was a musical. Whereas if they were upfront with the fact that it was a musical and they made it very clear from the trailer, I wouldn't have been as pissed off and shut the movie off in 2 minutes. But again, that's just personal opinion.
I really, really like The Greatest Showman, but I think there's one problem with it, and it's a minor problem, but how are you going to make a musical based on P.T. Barnum and not have a song called There's a Sucker Born Every Minute? It's like his most famous quote.
and also he was not a very nice man in real life. He was very different than what this guy was. This was a light version of the real man. If anybody knows what the real P.T. Barnum was like, oh my God, this guy wasn't honest, but the real P.T. Barnum, this guy is Jesus. I mean, my God. Woo!
I'm looking for. You know what? I'm not gonna look for that because it's too much work. I'm just gonna go over to my shelf and grab it off the shelf because it's easier. Hang on. All right, here's my vote for the most underrated musical that I feel it is my duty to keep spreading the word for because not enough people talk about it. It's a 2017, I want to say, 2017 film, Anna and the Apocalypse. A wonderful Christmas zombie musical. It's got zombies. It's right in season. If you're looking for something to watch, I think it's streaming on. I want to say it's streaming on Shudder right now. But if you can find this, if you're looking for a great Christmas movie that nobody talks about, this is it. Anna and the Apocalypse. The music is great. The cast is great. I love this movie. This is a really underrated movie. So.
And those kills are gnarly. They're really gory. So if you're a gore hound, you will get your fill with that movie. It is phenomenal.
But it's also cartoonish gore. Like, I mean, it's the kind of gore my wife watched that movie and wasn't upset. But like, she couldn't watch something with like if it looked real, she couldn't handle it. So,
yeah.
But it's very Evil Dead-y. Evil Dead.
Yeah, that felt like a Evil Dead and the Dead Don't Die style of a gore.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually thinking of before Christmas if I could find the time. I was thinking of maybe hosting a Anna and the Apocalypse watch party on the channel here because I think
I would join because I've never seen the movie, so that would probably be a fun stream. Just throwing that out there. You've got two people that already like the movie and a first time watcher.
Maybe I'll set that up for this weekend, sometime this weekend. Aubrey says Repo, the genetic.
That was a good one. It's messed up, but it was a fun musical.
I would
directed by Darren Lynn Boozman of Saw 2, 3, and 4 fame.
I would absolutely love to see Back to the Future the musical get the big screen treatment because I saw it on Broadway. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And Universal definitely wants more Back to the Future. And Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale have said no sequels. We're not doing a part 4. There's not going to be a remake. But if they did an adaptation of the musical, I think that could be fun.
The one musical I wish would get a film adaptation is Book of Mormon, the Trey Parker, Matt Stone Broadway musical.
Yeah. Or Evil Dead.
The one that I want, it'll never get it. It's called Shucked, and it's all about corn. that thing did massively well on Broadway. It got, I think it won 1 or 2 Tonys, but that thing was ridiculous, and those songs are so much fun.
I gotta ask the inevitable question: is there a song about a pirate and about being a buccaneer?
I would not put it past him. I don't believe that there is, but I would have wrote one.
A pirate going to a farmer's market singing about being a buccaneer.
I'm just looking over at the we're like I said, we're simul streaming on Instagram, which I've never done before. This is new. And I just looked over at the Instagram, and it's like, look, that's where you joined, Noah. I didn't even see that till now. I don't know if we're still streaming there. It says end live video, but I read that it only lets you do an hour, so I don't know.
Yes, it only lets you do 1 hour. I tried it before, and I believe it kicked me out after an hour. So you might be able to stream for more than an hour. You just can't save it.
Oh,
for
okay.
over and over. Maybe that might be the rule. I don't know.
Oh, hey, we had I don't know if he's still here. The Toilet was watching us. Toilet Paper. Toilet, you still there, man? Good to see you. I don't know. I can't. Oh yeah, no, people are still joining. Nowhere Man Child joined. Welcome, Nowhere Man Child. So yeah, this is all new to me. The Instagram thing. Like this is my first time streaming on Instagram. Unfortunately, I can't keep an eye on both chats. I apologize. I wish I could see the Instagram chats on StreamYard. That would be a little easier. But that's pretty cool. So, man, I'm excited. Toilet Paper was watching us. You guys watch Toilet Paper?
Oh yeah, I have.
I remember a
doing
video
something
you
similar
made
to I do
years
now.
ago, Joe, about getting the puppet.
Yes. Oh yeah, I love Toilet. Genius, man. It's genius.
Yeah, my family has the sense of humor of a 5-year-old, and my God, if my dad saw any of those videos, he would think it was the funniest crap he'd ever seen.
Can you imagine all the crap that he went through in 2020 when toilet paper became the world reserve currency?
I will use you, Toily.
Did you ever see when Toily did the song? He did "You've Got a Friend in Me" from Toy Story.
Yeah,
but he turned it into "You Wipe Your End with Me."
Yep.
Oh man, it's good stuff. It's really good. So I don't know. I think that made my night knowing that Toily was watching us. I don't know how long he stuck around. I don't know if he got bored and was like, that's enough of that.
They are not talking about me.
What?
He just kind of went there. They're not going to acknowledge me. They're not going to talk about me. So I am done with this shit. No, that was a bad joke.
Purple J708 says, "Do you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Steelbook?" On Instagram, he said that. I do not. I'm reading some of the comments on Instagram now. Moriarty Bob says, "Movies that are not going to bring in a ton of money may be released in a theater to qualify for award contention." Yes. If it gets nominated it's free advertising for when they move it to stream. A lot of times too, when these movies get award nominations, they come back. They get another bite at the apple. So Aubrey says, "Glad I could watch for a bit. You guys have a great rest of the stream. Night night." Aubrey, good night. It was great having you here. Don't be a stranger. We miss you. I miss chatting with Aubrey in the chat back in the dark times when I used to appear on that other guy's live stream.
Oh, he's a ball of joy.
I will say this, Joe. It's actually the way that probably most people. I'm going to speak for myself, but I got introduced to you that way, and obviously I've stuck around, and I'm currently on the stream right now, so it's not all bad.
Oh yeah,
I'm not speaking about your personal interactions. I'm just speaking about in general, because I was never there.
I met some good people through that connection, so it's not all bad. In fact, a lot of the people who used to be on the stream with him who don't talk to him anymore, we're still friends and we still text each other all the time. So, I'm just hoping, because I'm going to be in Disney. I'm going to be in Disney in January. I just hope I don't run into him. I don't want to talk to him. So.
I will say this. Joe did his thing on him, right? And that I did a stream, and that's how Joe and I became close friends. What was because of that
drama,
that thing that went on earlier this year.
I mean, I knew you from the comments. Like, I knew you from, like, the live chat, but, like, that was the first time we ever talked, so.
Yeah. which shocked me and Kyle both. First, we were like, did we do something wrong? What the hell did we do?
I need to ask you real quick. Did you ever have this issue with the person that shall not be named? Back when I first started in 2020, I sent an email for a collaboration thing, like I did with you, Joe, back when I first started, like February, March 2020. But this was much later. He actually responded to me and said, "Yeah, let's do it." I tried sending follow-up emails, and he just kept ghosting me.
I don't know. I can't really speak to that. I'm not sure. I know he's not very tech savvy, so it's like if it wasn't, like he used to do his live streams, he never used StreamYard. It was just like live streaming from the phone. So I don't know. It may have been something like that. I don't know. I can't really say. I when it comes to that guy, I only know what I know because there was another guy who got very, very upset that I did not mention the fact that he was switching barcodes. This other guy was like, "What? How could you talk about him and not talk about how he's switching barcodes?" And I said, "Because I never saw him do it. I believe he did it. I'm not doubting that he did it, but I'm not going to speak to something that I didn't witness myself. Everything we talked about on my stream was something I or Stephanie had firsthand knowledge about. I never saw him switch a barcode, so doesn't mean he didn't do it. But I'm not going to go after that because I don't have any proof of that. I've never seen it. So."
And my stream was basically as me and Kyle watched him for a good 10, 12 years. So we saw all this go down, and we had more. We saw him and heard him do stuff that was very not PC and not very nice. That's what I'm gonna say. That should have got him in trouble a lot sooner, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, we should probably change the subject. I don't want to harp on that guy.
Yeah.
Everything that can be said about him has been said. I don't really have anything new to add to it. So
no.
Just I'll tell you this. I remember when I spoke out, when I said something, I had people coming going, you just made a mistake. No one's gonna want to watch you anymore, blah blah blah. I'm doing fine. I have no regrets. No regrets at all. I think I saw I lost 40 people, 40 subs. It's like
I actually saw the complete opposite, which was very odd. All of a sudden, I went up 70 subs. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Where did you all come from?
Oh, Noah, they all left Joe's channel and came to yours.
Well, that's the thing. I lost 40 people right away. So it's I guess that were his hardcore fans who were like, you gonna talk ill of him? I'm out of here. And it's that's it, 40 people, huh? And then after that, I had a wave of growth. So it was I had a drop that was pretty insignificant, and then a big growth. The one that I find hilarious is when we did that stream. When we did that stream, there was one guy in the chat who gives us a $2 super chat, and he's like, and he goes "Oh, thank you for speaking out. Thank you. I had no idea about all this." Gives a $2 super chat. So then the next day, Captain Foot Picture, or whatever you want to call him, I don't know, he does his response stream, and the same guy is in his stream giving him super chats, and he's and then he's
begging for forgiveness,
and he sees him on my stream, and he goes, "What were you doing over there?" And the guy starts going, "I'm so sorry, I thought he was telling the truth, but he was lying." And I'm like, wow, you don't have an ounce of backbone You know, I tell you one thing and you believe me, and then the next day he goes, he's lying, and you believe him. So it's like, if I went on the next day and said, no, he was lying, are you back to me then? Like, I mean,
And I remember watching that stream. He sent like several super chats, like begging for forgiveness. And it wasn't until like the fourth or fifth one that the person who shall not be named finally addressed it.
Yeah, I can tell you this.
Yeah.
That guy, I haven't. You're not going to see him around here again because I got a text from Steph, and she's like, "Did you see what that guy? He was on our chat. Then she goes, block him." All right, so he's blocked here now. So.
Well, that my favorite part of that whole story is during his stream. When the stream was completely just cut off. That's my favorite part of it.
Oh, and that was totally us messing with him too.
Yeah,
because Steph and I are texting each other back and forth, and she's like, "I can't believe he's doing a live stream." And I said, and we're just going, because I was planning to keep it up for several more hours. I said it was going to be up for 24 hours, and then I just wrote right back to her. I go, it'd be really funny if I just privated it right now and it stopped his stream cold, and she's like, do it.
So Joe, I have to ask, did you ever get served with the lawsuit? Because he kept saying throughout it that he needs to start suing some people.
Yeah, well, no, because everything we said was true.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we say, you can't, and even somebody I know, a guy I know who is. I'm not going to name names. But a guy I know who is still friends with both of us, an intermediate who is friends with him and friends with me. It's like, you're in a very bad position here because this is slander and he could sue you for this. And I'm like,
the problem is he number one would have to prove it's untrue. And number two, he would have to prove it actually caused him damage. At least here in the United States. And
I'm like, do you know how many people that would take the stand and corroborate what I'm saying, including his ex-wife? I'm like, no, he doesn't. This is something he wants to quietly go away because we're telling the truth. So
and how many people that I know who were on video who had stuff happen that would go to the stand? I'm sorry. There's no way he had anything.
Yeah, and also it's like, I mean, I
and he didn't have the money to go to court anyways. Oh, sorry, but
yeah, no, I was gonna say, we haven't named names. We haven't. We called him he who shall not be named. But so we haven't named names. But I haven't spoken about. This is the first I've spoken about him since that stream. I haven't said a word. So it's like we came out, we said our thing. I said, hey, this is going to be up for 24 hours. Then I'm taking it down because this isn't a drama channel. We did that. It was up for 24 hours. I took it down a little less than that, just to mess with him. But we took it down, and we haven't spoken about him since. So what does he have to gain by coming after me with a lawsuit? Because number one, we were honest. So he really doesn't have a case. That's number one. And number two, it would just be a waste of his time. It would be a waste of his new wife's time. It would, like, why tie that up? Because ultimately it went away. We took the stream down, we said our piece, and then we walked away. It's not hurting him anymore. His loyal viewers stuck around. How many did he lose? I don't know. Probably wasn't that many. And then he got more upset because the other dude, the homophobic incel, was like posting all the barcode photos of him.
Yeah.
And that was probably a bigger deal for him. And again, what's he going to do there? I mean, it's like, is he going to sue him? The guy had proof. He had photo evidence. I don't know. So let him live his life. He's down in Florida with his new wife. Hope he's happy. I mean, that's sort of a lie. I really don't give a shit if he's happy or not, if we're being honest. But I don't care one way or the other. But I mean, it's over. So who cares?
But anyways,
And we probably confused a whole lot of viewers.
Yeah.
People who don't know
how
what
did
we're
we
talking
go
about.
from the box office to that dude?
I don't know. I don't even know how that happened.
And who is that dude?
It's Donald Trump. Fuck him. No.
We haven't had a single comment either in the chat for the past 20 minutes. So I don't know. We may have scared the viewers.
I think we scared everyone off.
We don't even know who the hell they're talking about at this point.
Well, guys, it is getting late, and I have work in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
hold on. Before the stream ends, I want to do the classic stream ending joke.
But before you do that,
okay.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, this was inspired by Noah's favorite musical that needs to be turned into a movie. What was the name of the vegetable police squad that rode motorcycles?
Wait, what was the name of the vegetable in Police Squad?
No, what was the name of the vegetable police squad that rode motorcycles?
Is it the potato chips?
It has
Corn
something to do with
chips.
corn.
Corn
Chip.
chips.
Wow.
I said it was inspired by Noah's favorite musical that needs to be turned into a movie. It had to do with corn.
Okay, that's right. But technically, potatoes are a vegetable too. So
yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for being here. And this has been one wacky stream. Kind of went all over the place. So
That's what the random streams are for, though.
Yeah. And I'll be back with a normal Monday stream next week. Hopefully, Perp will be able to be here. And all right, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you need.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, it's a trap.
Oh no,
it's a trap. Some people call them peaches, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander Adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.
Hi, I'm Crazy Joe. You want drapes? We got it. We have beautiful cotton prints. We import it directly. Spain, Italy, Germany, all over Europe. Crazy Joe is the name. You want chaperone? We got chaperone. Crazy Joe. Lowest prices in town. Quality, variety, and price. Crazy Joe is the name. Don't forget, Crazy Joe. We want you to buy at Crazy Joe's. If you don't shop at Crazy Joe, you pay too much. Tell everybody to come to Crazy Joe. You buy a new home, come to Crazy Joe. To everybody on the block, Crazy Joe is the name.
If you don't shop at Crazy Joe's, you'll pay too much.